conference days will be bright as this light and continue the legacy. Thank you so much.
Respected chairperson of the program, distinguished guests, respected professors, educators and teachers, NELTA officials and members, officials from foreign diplomatic missions, media personnel, ladies and gentlemen. It is an immense honor and privilege to be here today at the 29th International Conference of NELTA. I am delighted to learn about NELTA's unwavering commitment to advancing English language teaching in Nepal since its inception in 1992, with the instrumental support of the like-minded organizations. I take this opportunity to extend my sincere appreciation to NELTA for its pivotal role in enhancing English language teaching and learning, particularly in remote and far-flung regions of our country. My gratitude also goes to the government of Nepal and its line agencies for their continued support in this endeavor. With a legacy spanning over 3 decades, NELTA has made remarkable strides in the professional development of English language teachers, boasting a strong membership of over 5,600 lifetime members and active executive committees in 60 districts across all 7 provinces. NELTA's contribution to teacher training, workshops, and seminars have significantly impacted the quality of English education in Nepal. English, as the most widely spoken global language, plays a crucial role in international trade, diplomacy, tourism, media, and the digital world. It serves as a bridge connecting Nepali students, educators, and professionals to international platforms. The ability to communicate in English not only enhances academic and career prospects, but also promotes our rich cultural heritage and national potential on the global stage. Learning a new language is undoubtedly. However, it fosters cognitive development, enhances memory, and nurtures creativity. More importantly, as educators, you are not just instructors of a subject, our nation's future. You hold the power to transform the educational landscape of Nepal by instilling in students the values of diligence, humility, and critical thinking.
Principal, Little Angels School, and other colleagues here. Office bearers from Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Tribhuvan University, Science and Technology, Tribhuvan University, Kathmandu University, Mother Mandadi College, and other institutions, representatives from partner teacher associations, distinguished guests on the dais, keynote speakers, plenary speakers, panelists, presenters, participants from home and abroad, publishers and media persons, NELTA, AI and technology assisted kind of conference for the first time in the NELTA history. Good morning and a very warm welcome to all of you. I feel very, very honored and privileged to be here to speak to you as the President of NELTA, which is 33 years young. I don't want to say old, it's young. In this period of 3 decades, NELTA has come a long way, and we are here to celebrate what we have done so far and discuss the uncharted frontiers ahead as we have outlined in our conference theme. On this occasion, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to all my seniors and all NELTA members for entrusting the current team to lead this wonderful association. NELTA
Office published by NELTA, and please give a round of applause. This is the academic publication of Journal of NELTA. Likewise, may I request the chief guest to share the handbook of English language education in Nepal, probably the first book on policies, program and prospects published by Routledge, edited by Professor Dr. Ramasis Giri and Professor Dr. Lakshman Gawali, written by Nepalese scholar. Likewise, may I request the collection of poetry by our past president, immediate past president Dr. Nauraj Neupane, the poem collection on Nimukti, please. And here you can see the author to my right. Yes, and he is also the associate professor at Tribhuvan University PN campus, Pokhara. Thank you so much. Give a round of applause for this.
Okay. Distinguished guests, professors, teachers, and administrators, namaste and good morning. Great to be with you all. It really is a pleasure to be with you all today, especially here in Nepal. I think I've told some of you that my own journey with Nepal goes back 20 years when I first visited as a young, lost backpacker trekking the Annapurna circuit. And since then, I've returned several times to climb more mountains. And so, speaking on resources, the Reload team really plays a pivotal role in providing high-quality, free programs, not only in Nepal, but also in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and the Maldives. These programs are designed to empower educators and students, strengthening the region's ability to teach and learn English more effectively. And so from professional development, workshops to specialized courses for teachers, Reload provides valuable tools for enhancing English education across the region. And one of the Reload program's key initiatives is the Access program.
And friends from abroad, what happened? The chief guest, Deputy Speaker Prakash Manji, I'm sure he has been told he has been busy, but thank you for your time in coming here and showing your support. And the next speaker was from the British Council, as I think, Rustamji, yes? Thank you. Mr. Kanyaji, for your insights. And that's
a language learning, and we're navigating uncharted frontiers. So I'd like to break down these themes one by one, and the first is the machine. I think all of the technology that have been part of our lives for these past few years are really on our minds as educators. And I'd like to start with a World Bank report from November of last year. And they said in this report that looking to the future, the educational landscape will continue to evolve rapidly in response to AI advancements, requiring institutions to remain agile and forward-thinking. So I would love to invite you to have this as a personal mantra this week in our time together. How can we remain agile and forward thinking? How can that be something that we practice together? So these are some of my students. They come from 50 different countries. I teach at a community college in San Francisco. All of my students are English language learners. And I really believe in an approach, even when we do incorporate technology, that's student-centered, with a global focus and remaining curious about the technology. So I'm sure that all of you are coming to this conference with a range of attitudes. When we think about machine, the first theme in our conference, how are you feeling about how Gen AI is impacting our profession? Maybe you're on one end of the spectrum. You're feeling anxious, scared, doubtful, skeptical. Or maybe you're on the other end of the spectrum. You're excited, you're enthusiastic, you're optimistic. Or maybe somewhere in the middle, confused, unsure, intrigued, curious. I invite you to find, where are you right now on this spectrum? And at the end of the conference, have your attitude shifted? Have you moved on this spectrum? So my own personal opinion, my own lens, is that as educators, we really need to have a basic understanding, an inquiry mindset, a curiosity in order to have classifying existing data. So Gen AI systems are based on large language models and on these vast data sets, and they generate human-like text outputs. They're not human, but it's human-like. So these are some examples of AI platforms, and there are new ones coming online all the time. Maybe you've heard recently about Notebook LM, DeepSeek. So as educators, we have this contradiction, and I'm sure that you're hearing these in your staff rooms, in your meetings, in your online communication with other educators. If students never learn AI, they'll be at a disadvantage in their study and their careers. At the same time, if they learn AI too early, they won't be building the foundational knowledge that we really value as educators. So I think we have to hold both of these truths in a delicate balance. So back to the World Bank report, they say that the rapid advancement of AI is disrupting our landscape. It's presenting both opportunities and challenges. And I know that in all the sessions, we'll be looking at the many opportunities and challenges that we're facing as fellow educators this week. So one framework I really like is by Saba Kidwai from Designing Schools. And this is something I've introduced to my own students and that found very helpful. It's called the WISE framework. So when we are introducing AI, when we're using it ourselves, when our students are using it, are we being aware of our well-being and the well-being of others? Are we using these tools with integrity? Are we learning new skills? And are we missing the learning of new skills? And does AI allow me to engage better with what I'm doing? So the well-being, the integrity, the skills, and the engagement can really give us a map for how we're going to engage with these tools. The fact is that we might not have as much choice as we did 3 years ago. AI is being integrated into so many of the tools that we're already using. So we need to be thoughtful and strategic. And I know that a lot of the conversations that we're having in my college are around policies and implementation, but these are going to become more challenging as the tools get better and as they become more integrated. So how do we support our students upskilling with AI? How are we preparing them with 21st century skills, such as digital literacy? And in my plenary tomorrow, I'll talk more about digital literacy and moving from digital literacy to digital fluency. How are we supporting our students with the creative use of AI? And how are we together keeping up with change? And then I think together we really need to learn more about the ethics and the accessibility of these tools. What are your institution's guidelines, and how might you be part of evolving those guidelines? We really need to talk to one another. This week is a beautiful opportunity to do that. And I would love to talk to you more. I'll be in the Relo booth, so come find me. And then refining for your class, what are your policies? How are you staying in communication with your students? How are you modifying your assessments? So going to the next theme of human, the human aspect. What is it that we uniquely offer as educators? Coming back to the heart of what we do. And I'm sure that's why you're here. You love what you do, right? We have these personal relationships. We're training our students, we're guiding our students, we're encouraging.
To learn a lot myself. I think we're in a stage where we need to remember that we are students too, especially with technology right now. It's impossible to understand all of it, so I myself hope to learn a lot as well. And the title of the presentation I'll be giving is Keeping an Eye on AI, What's Happening to Student Engagement. And before I start explaining the agenda, I think we should all really think about what it is we should be thinking about when we consider technology at the moment. What should we be thinking about? I think the very easy question that we all have and that we have every day is, what can AI do? So maybe everyone here today has been using their phone or computer and trying out something new with AI. It's exciting. We live in very exciting times. But I don't think this is the most important question for us right now. And I think this is something that a lot of the speakers you've heard have already mentioned. What we really need to be thinking about is AI helping our students grow? Is it something that's going to help them progress as humans? Or is it something that's going to hold them back? A simpler way to put this that I've had colleagues say recently is, will AI make our students smarter or more stupid? And that's a very simple way to think about it, but also something you could ask. So, we'll have a quick look at what AI is so far. What do we know about it so far? Then I'll talk about what my research covers, what is classroom engagement. And engagement isn't exactly motivation. Those two words are often confused. Engagement's much more about actions and how students are diving into the work. Motivation is just how they're feeling. It's a state. Are they ready to do it or not? So we'll talk about those because those are very important things to think about at the moment with students. Then the big question, how is AI changing classroom engagement? And then probably an even bigger question, how should we approach using it in class? What do we need to keep an eye on? And then, I'm not sure if we have time for questions, but I'll try to have some time at the end as well. So let's take a quick look. What do we know about AI so far? This is a SWOT analysis. We need to keep an eye on that, and I'll talk more about that. Now the threats as well. Globally, AI has the potential to create a lot of unequal and unfair access. You know, some students can afford the latest versions of AI tools and some can't. Maybe some don't even have phones. This makes it quite unfair within learning. Plagiarism and cheating, we're all very aware of the ability for it to maybe help students what we call cheat. And the bottom two there, if you can read those, are the two that concern me the most as an educator and also as a parent. If you think about your own children, maybe about yourself as well. The first one is shallow understanding of the content. Is AI going to take away students' ability to think more deeply about what they're looking at? And ultimately, a decline in cognitive skills. Are we hitting a dangerous part of our generation of students where slowly it requires less and less thinking for them to achieve things? Or will AI do the opposite and actually help them boost their thinking? That's what I'm going to explore with you now. But first, let's just make sure we're understanding what classroom engagement is. So, to understand what it is, I'm going to give you 5 dimensions of engagement. There are more, but I think these 5 make up things that everyone here as a teacher will be familiar with. You'll understand about yourself and your students. So the first one is the actions and behaviors of students in your class. What are they doing in your class? What can you see them doing? The next one is their emotions and their feelings. How do they feel about the work we're giving them? Are they enjoying it? Are they hating it? Are they bored? The next one is how they interact and collaborate with each other. Those environments in the classroom where they talk and they work together as teams. We've got to protect that. That's a very important part of it too. The next one is how they invest cognitively. This one's probably going to be mentioned the most in research this year and next year about AI, I think. Are students thinking deeply because AI is becoming a part of their learning process? And the last one is how proactive they're being. That's a form of engagement. Are they taking chances to find their own answers, to be autonomous, to ask the teacher questions, things like that? So what we'll do for this presentation, I'll give each of these a term that you'll find in research, and I'll give it a kind of icon or a symbol so we can remember what it means. So the first one, not surprisingly, we're going to call behavioral engagement. We'll give it this kind of running figure in this presentation. The emotions and feelings, emotional engagement. We'll give it this smiley face or sad face symbol here. The next one about interaction, we'll call this social engagement. I've already heard a lot of talk about this at the conference this morning, people saying how AI can positively or negatively affect the way students socialize and talk to each other. So we'll give it this symbol here. And the next one is cognitive engagement. Again, I think everyone here is very interested in answers about this one. Are they thinking enough because of AI in the room, or is it reducing the amount they think about things? And the last one about proactiveness, agentic engagement. You'll find all of these in research. This has a hands up symbol you can see there. So today, we're going to consider these the 5 dimensions of classroom engagement. So please, as I keep talking, please think about your own students and think about yourself. Maybe think about your children. Think about which of these they may be doing well at or not so well at, and is AI playing a part in that? I don't believe that can happen for language teachers because, as you've already heard in the keynote before this, the collaboration is the key to success with AI. Collaboration between the technology, the students, and the teacher. But the teacher may need to become something different. They'll need to become more of a guide or a facilitator. But it's only with those 3 things together, in my opinion, it can really work. Screen locked learning. Students zoomed in on screens, doing nothing but eyes down, like the photo of the young lady here, in a classroom. Is that how we want classrooms to look? Less human-like interactions, again. Are they going to miss out on the social aspects that they learn in class? Picture. So let's look at the positive. They get detailed information. The possibility for varied viewpoints is good too. If there's an argument or a debate or a discussion, perhaps something in the news, AI, you can ask it to say, give me different opinions. you can try to bypass that bias that may come from just the first reaction it gives you. And the speed as well. So students may be able to think more deeply.
Afternoon is, yes. Thank you. All right, so sorry, it's embarrassing, right? At the beginning. Thank you very much. So I'm going to talk about multi-literacy or multimodal literacy based on the work that I have done with
and now. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind words. I'll just build on what Dr. Gautam has highlighted in his introductory remarks. It's very insightful to see that how rich we have been, the pedigrees of the nation. We really see ourselves very privileged in relation to our wealth of language, wealth of diversity. I think that is the actual given gift to us. Which is obvious for us to be here, and those who are part of NELTA community, I really appreciate. We all bring that with us. So sometimes when we see that English everywhere, we forget what we bring us with. That's why we are not only English, but we are something else. English is plus to what we already have. That's why we should not really see that English should actually overwhelm us. We celebrate your presence, we celebrate the way that you have got so rich experience. So on that basis, the question that Dr. Gautam asked me, what changes we witness over the period of time? Sadly, things are very frustrating.
It requires the kind of a inclusive approach. I believe that. Inclusive approach, there are many strategies, so I would like to tell that later. And also because English is a global language, we cannot deny that. Because I'm a teacher of English, I can't teach in Nepali, but sometimes I speak Nepali in my classrooms to explain some of the theories and philosophies. But MA English means you have to teach in English. So English is inevitable, you cannot avoid it. But it shouldn't be cost of the local languages. Local languages for our cultural and social identity. So there are certain key strategies we could say about the inclusive approach. For example, multilingual language-based learning. For example, we start our early education from the local language, just a Tharu language, and then 1 to 3 class, we'll start from the local language, Tharu language, for example. Then we slowly or gradually transit it, or maybe we transfer it to Nepali. And as government also said that 4 to 8, okay, that grade. So we have to teach them in Nepali, and slowly after the 9, we could integrate the English language. So it will help the students to learn in a kind of a inclusive way. And also I would like to suggest that kind of cultural responsive teaching. In the curriculum, I would like to request to the government that at least when we develop the curriculum, then we should also include the folk tales, cultural kind of festivals, things in English book also. So they learn the cultures also, their identity also, and they learn the English also. So this is a very, very challenging kind of questions. And for that also, I would like to say, even the teachers' training is very important. Only giving the training in English, it doesn't matter, but we have to give the training to the teachers of the cultural responsive kind of contents. So how to prepare the materials in mother tongues and how to implement that in the classroom is very, very important. Thank you.
UNESCO, UNICEF, and many other associations, even the Language Commission Nepal too. So what are the policy initiatives?
Thank you, Dr. Gautam. I'm very pleased to be here with all these distinguished panelists and the colleagues, friends, respected professors. I think this is a very good beginning question to understand what is happening in Nepal in relation to how we are teaching language, basically English and other languages. You know, when we are thinking about language policy, I think we should understand language policy from more political perspective. If you see Nepal's political transition, you also see Nepal's priorities for language teaching. If we go to the Rana period, for example, we had a very strong nationalist movement. And that nationalist movement projected Nepali as the primary language of instruction, which also, restricted other minority languages or ethnic indigenous languages. The result of that is Nepali was the main language to be taught as a subject at the same time.
So, what roles do you think the ethnic indigenous community should play in promoting multilingualism in Nepal, especially? My focus is that.
Thank you, Dr. Gautam. This is again the good questions. So I feel that it's not only the NELTA's job to improve the English or local languages to promote our protection, but it's the shared responsibilities of everyone. The government and civil societies, even the parents and NGOs, INGOs, even the media and technology, or even the educational institution. It's not the kind of a personal or individual kind of a work, but I would like to say as a Limbu community, indigenous community, how could I save my language? It's very, very difficult question because I want to be an English teacher or professor in this university. So if I started teaching through kind of my language, nobody will understand. Even sometimes in class, I speak my Limbu language and this means Sevaro or something like that, but they will not understand. So it's very, very challenging, but sometimes we mix with this kind of Nepali and English. That means, so when we teach English, it should always, the indigenous languages of the ethnic communities or English should be, should be coexist, okay, in a balanced way. Because English is for communication and opportunities, but the local language is for cultural and social identity. So we cannot avoid them. Even our 2028, okay, Education Act, they provided us, okay, 1 to 5 you write or teach students or children in local language or mother tongue. But who will teach that? What is the kind of benefits? Even the teachers were tired teaching that in local languages, and later the parents also take out their children from that kind of a school and they put their children in the boarding school because they teach English. It doesn't mean that we have to avoid or kind of degrade our local languages, indigenous languages. We have to preserve that. But preserving doesn't mean we have to ignore English. So we could add English as an additional language. And also the curriculum must be flexible, and also the policies of the government should be flexible. We cannot strictly say that, okay, 1 to 5 you have to teach in your mother tongue. No, it's not kind of a work, okay? It will not work in for the future generation. So that's my answer. Sorry for taking time.
Very rightly